Alright, in order to make a graph using Google Sheets, we're going to open up a Sheet app. So in the top right hand corner, Google Apps, and I'm going to go into my Drive. When I do this, in the top left hand corner it says New, and I'm going to select a Google Sheet. This opens up the Google Sheets document and a blank one. Even before I start, I should title this. And in this case, I think it's a good idea that I write my name and then the laboratory that I'm running, Acceleration Down and Incline. Once you do that, now you can search for this and be able to find it again. In my experiment, I have a data table, but I need to graph 2 bits of information. The instructions tell me that I need the position of photo gate A, B from A. So I'm going to highlight the title and all of these numbers by holding down the left mouse key and dragging to form a blue box around it. At this point, I can copy it or hit Control-C and then go back to my blank document, highlight this box, and then paste it or hit Control-V. The second bit of information that I need to graph is here, time from photo gate A to time to photo gate B. So I'm going to put a blue box around it to highlight it. I'm going to copy it or hit Control-V for copy, and then go back to my laboratory and paste it here. Okay, now you see that there's a row here. We could right click, which is 2 fingers on the mouse pad, and then delete this row. At this point, I have the information that I need to graph. In order to graph it, I'm going to highlight all the numbers and include the labels, and then go to either the the chart tool, Insert Chart, or the drop-down menu Insert Chart. At this point, Google creates a beginning chart with all of your points graphed. Sometimes Google chooses these kinds of charts, which don't do us much good. I can change the chart type by going here and selecting what kind of chart I would like. There are line charts, bar charts, column charts, but the scatter chart is very useful in science class. At this point, I could be done, but if I need to change this histogram of time from photo gate A to B, I can go to the Customize to change the label. The way in which I do that is I hit the Customize button here and go to Chart Axes and Titles. The very first thing is I get a selector bar, and there's a menu here that shows me I can relabel all of these things. So I would like to relabel this to say position of B versus time, which is a very good scientific label, and you'll see that the label changes. But I could also change this label as well by going back to this menu bar, and this is the vertical axis, so I'm going to change it from time from photo gate A to B in seconds. And I can label what this axis of the chart is. If I want to label this the horizontal axis, I can select horizontal axis, position of photo gate B from photo gate A, and the units are included, which is always required when you're labeling axes. The last thing that I'd like to do is I'd like to put a line in this data. So I'm going to hit the Customize button. I can close this, but I'm looking for series. Now in the series menu you can change the color of each one of the dots or the shape or how big they are, but here at the bottom there is adding a trend line. And when you do the very first one, it's called linear, which is a line. But to be honest, there's lots of different kinds of lines you can add. We're going to stick with linear, and you can change the color of the line, how dark it is, and how big it is. I think I'd like a little bit thicker line here so I can see it. And then if you get really technical, we could add the equation as well. At this point, I have a very good scientific graph. If I wanted to move it back to my laboratory, I can simply click on it once and I get this blue box around the graph that I'm working with, and these three dots appear. This is a menu that allows you to edit the chart again if you want to fix a label or add a trend line after the chart is made, or you can copy this chart. And then I can go back into the laboratory or onto a website and paste my chart where I need it. Now it asks you if you want to link it to your spreadsheet. That means if you change your chart, it changes in your document. If you select paste on the link, it just takes a picture of it and it will never change. At this point, the chart is very, very large. I think I can scale it down a bit by grabbing this corner and bringing it up. When you rescale charts, the important thing is that you are able to see both axes. You want to be able to see the title here, see the title here, and see the title here.